Hi, my name is Udo Erasmus. My claim to fame is that I developed methods for making oils with health rather than shelf life in mind. I wrote a book called Fats That Heal, Fats That Kill, and developed some formulas for oils that support health that come out of the research I did over the past 25 years. I've been at it for almost 30 years. My background is biological sciences, biochemistry, and genetics. And I got interested in nutrition when I got poisoned by pesticides and the doctors couldn't help me. Born in Europe, emigrated to Canada when I was 10 with my family, and live in Vancouver when I'm not living in my suitcase. So the benefits of omega-3s, well, let's start fundamental. First of all, the omega-3s are essential. It means your body can't make them, you have to have them, they have to come from food, therefore. If you don't get enough, your health goes down. If you don't, it gets worse with time if you're deficient. And if you don't get enough long enough, you die. But if you bring enough back into a deficient diet before you die, then all of the problems that come from not getting enough are reversed, because life knows exactly what to do with them, provided you make sure you bring enough in. Among the essential nutrients, which include 20 minerals, 14 vitamins, 8 essential amino acids, and 2 essential fatty acids, the omega-3s are the most sensitive, require the most care, are most easily damaged by light, oxygen, and heat of any of these essential nutrients. So they need to be made with care if they are to retain their health benefits. If we don't get enough, this is the omega-3 deficiency is the single most widespread essential nutrient deficiency of our time. 99.9% of the population does not get enough for optimum health. Every cell requires them, and that means if you don't get enough, every cell, every tissue, every gland, and every organ in your body is affected. So their energy levels go down, their function deteriorates, and then you get symptoms. The research says that when you increase omega-3s in your diet, you can improve virtually every major degenerative condition of our time. They make a person more insulin sensitive, so that's good for diabetes. They lower most of the major cardiovascular risk factors, including high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, heartbeat abnormalities or arrhythmia, and they make platelets less sticky, which is helpful in preventing heart attacks, strokes, and embolisms. They have anti-cancer benefits if they're fresh and not damaged. They keep bones stronger by inhibiting the bone breakdown cells. They form a barrier in the skin against the loss of moisture, along with omega-6s, and that gets you soft, smooth, velvety skin. That's how we measure optimum. It's about a tablespoon per 25 kilograms of body weight per day. They are very good for hair and nail growth. They are required for injury healing. They are required for liver and kidney function. They elevate mood and lift depression. They speed learning and increase IQ. They blunt the stress response. They make the hormones work more effectively at the cell receptor level. So that means they make the glands last longer. They are helpful in decreasing inflammation and the inflammatory conditions. They inhibit the immune response in autoimmune conditions. They are helpful in digestion. They're extremely important in brain development and brain function, so they're very important during pregnancy. And because the brain is over 60% fat, dry weight, and of that, about a third is essential fatty acid. About a third of it is omega-3 essential fatty acids. They decrease the symptoms in the major mental disorders. Let's see, I don't know if I missed any part of the body, but literally they're required for every part of the body. And they sound like a panacea, a cure-all. And the reason why they have such a wide range of benefits is simply because they're essential. Most people don't get enough, and every cell in the body requires them. Probably the easiest, the most obvious things people see is skin, better mood, lighter mood, more energy. The cravings for carbohydrates are reduced. Craving for food generally is reduced. People feel calmer. They are very useful for increasing energy levels. We've done studies with athletes that show that a blend of omega-3 and 6, where the omega-3s are more abundant, so it's a 2-to-1 ratio, 2 omega-3s to 1 omega-6, will actually increase stamina in athletes on average by 40 to 60%. It's a huge increase. Steroids only get you 4 to 8. And we've done studies with world-class athletes and got those kinds of results. They're also very good for weight loss. The way we do that is we decrease carbohydrate intake, because that's where most of our overweight comes from. When you eat more carbs than you burn, then your body turns the excess into fat and also turns off fat burning when it's doing that, whereas the omega-3s turn on fat burning and turn off fat production in the body. So very helpful to make a shift from carbs as fuel to good fats as fuel, and they stabilize, the energy is stable, you don't get high in low blood sugar, you don't get high on low insulin levels, and you don't get the cravings that make people overeat carbohydrates. Specifically for men, actually every degenerative condition affects men. Cardiovascular disease, of course, affects men more than women, at least during middle age, at least until after menopause in women. And they are very helpful in the cardiovascular risk factors to reduce them. We reduce cholesterol very effectively. They reduce high triglycerides very effectively. The other way to reduce those is to eat less carbohydrates, including fruit, because those can make triglycerides go up. And they help with arrhythmia. They help with high blood pressure because they relax arterial muscle tone, and that reduces blood pressure. And they make platelets less sticky, and so they are helpful in decreasing risk of heart attack, stroke, and embolism. Okay, while omega-6s, which are essential, have lots of sources, all seeds and nuts contain them, the sources of omega-3s are more limited, and they include green vegetables. But I figured out one day to get my optimum of omega-3s, I would have to eat 123 pounds of green vegetables a day. So they're a source, but they're not a sufficient source. The richest source is flax. Its oil is almost 60% omega-3 in the basic form that the body will convert if you get enough into EPA and DHA. And then the third main source is high-fat cold water fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, herring, trout, eel. And then you find them in seals, you find them in whales, you find them in polar bears. Those are the main rich sources. There are a little bit in soybeans and a little bit in rapeseed, and there's a little bit in walnuts, and there's a few exotic seeds like chia and perilla seeds that have some omega-3s in them. The downside of the fish is twofold. Damage done by processing, because fish oils are about 25 times more sensitive to damage than the cooking oils. And the second is the PCBs and dioxins, whose level can be lowered, but at the expense of doing more processing and doing more damage to the oils. It's hard to get organic fish, so they tend to contain pesticides and industrial toxins. The seed oils, you can get them organic, and if they're made with health rather than shelf life in mind, then they're not damaged. So that's basically what I've spent 25 years doing, developing methods for making them with health in mind, and then getting sources that are free of pesticides. Now, we've done one more thing. We now work with red-brown algae, which make EPA and DHA for the entire food chain. And we can get those grown in tanks in an isolated environment, free of PCBs and dioxins. And we can get them unrefined, so they have the same standards that we use for making the seed oils.